One, two, one, two. All right, let's roll.
Welcome. You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast,
the voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse,
we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go.
Saddle up, partner.
This week, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining the show. This week, we have the GOAT of all GOATs, Miss Bianca Torre. She is a Bronx legend, a Valley legend, all-time leader scorer in women's basketball, right, in the program. Am I correct when I say that, Bianca?
I was during UTPA, but then it got switched to UTRGV and I got bumped down to second.
Oh, wait, who do we need to talk to about
Who do we
this?
need to talk to? We got to get Chase.
So you're not talking to the real GOAT then, since I'm in second.
No, you're definitely a GOAT. You're definitely a GOAT. So thank you so much for being on the show, Bianca. We are blessed to have you.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so
many congratulations, man. But Matt, go ahead. There's so many congratulations to give to you. There's so many kudos to you, but Matt, go for it, man.
So tell us about growing up. You in Harlingen, right? And so
Yes.
Did you always know you wanted to play college ball? Like, when did you know that you were good enough to be like, yeah, I got this. I can do this.
So I grew up in Harlingen. I started playing pretty early, I would say. I started playing in second grade, but I started playing against the guys. And so when I realized that I can kind of keep up with the guys at that level, I was like, hey, I don't think I'm too bad. But it wasn't until high school, because I played multiple sports. I did volleyball, basketball, track, softball, but my love was basketball. Like, I just loved it. Like, it sounds like so cliche, but I love the way the ball bounced on the court. Like, I love the way ball would go through the net, like the sound that it would make. I just loved everything about it. But it wasn't maybe till like maybe my sophomore year, I thought, hey, like I could actually play at the next level. Like, it wasn't till maybe then. But I signed early my senior year, because I thought, you know what, UTPA is interested in me, and it's right here by home, by my house. I mean, I wasn't in Harlingen, whatever, but I thought my family could go see me, and I really wanted to make a stand, like saying like, hey, I'm from the Valley. And I know then a lot of people played in the Valley, but they might have not made like a name for themselves, especially on the women's side. So I thought, man, I could, break that barrier and maybe start getting people from the Valley to play at the next level. And they had just switched over to Division I. I think they're like independent. So anyways, yeah, I took the chance, and those are the best 4 years of my life. I got to break some records, and I mean, playing for UTPA just really changed my life. And I think it's given girls hope and more belief that they can do something at that level. Even though it's here in Edinburgh, I mean, it's a Division I, and that's the highest level you can play. I mean, we played against Baylor, we played against Oklahoma State. We had beat TCU. They were not in our conference, but they're like in the Mountain West or Mountain East, but they were
at the time. Yeah.
So it's just a big deal. I mean, it's really cool. And being from Harlingen, I grew up with my mom. She was a single mother, and I had only flown on a plane maybe like once or twice prior to going to UTRGV or UTPA. I mean, but I flew all over the world. Like, it was insane. Like, it was so fun. I got to go places I would have never thought in my entire world to go. I went to New York, went to Times Square. I just felt like a small little ant in like this huge world. It was cool. It's just a blessing, And my mom didn't have to pay for any sort of school. I mean, I got everything free.
Wow.
I got a full ride. So it was really neat.
You just gave me goosebumps. That's to hear you know that you're an inspiration and you were inspired by so many, and we'll get into that. But like, to hear that, like that joy you have reflecting on the 4 years is unbelievable. And I'm so happy for you that you got to experience that. And I was living down in the Valley, and you were kind of a big deal in high school, and everybody knew who you were. And then to see you choose Pan Am to continue your career, that was a
Yeah.
big step. You know, that was a big choice because I'm sure you had other offers, but for you to stay
Well,
home.
I actually did. I only had South Alabama, but they were also like a small Division 1, I think. And I remember the coach trying to sell me out, saying, "Oh, we got this Mexican restaurant over here. It's pretty good." I'm like, "We got the real deal down here." So, but anyways, I went to UTPA. I chose that instead. And Coach Kraft was there my senior year, but then I don't know if they let her go or she resigned. But then they brought in Coach Downing. So I played for Coach Downing, but he didn't recruit me. It was Coach Kraft. But I mean, it still was the best place. I mean, best school I could have gone to, honestly.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is, you got G speechless. He's not even like, usually he asks a ton of questions and now he's not even saying anything. So,
Well, yeah, because I kind of wanted to get into that, and I think Matt kind of alluded to that we wanted to talk about, you as an inspiration, and you said it a little bit ago, but being an inspiration to those girls, to all those little girls, in the Valley, and we're seeing that, like we're seeing the evolution of women's basketball. I coached women's basketball at Paris Junior College for a few years. I had always coached men's basketball. And I had like an upfront everyday appreciation for how hard they practice, the love, the commitment, talk about growing up in the Valley, who did you look up? And even if it wasn't women's basketball, or if it wasn't, if it was somebody in women's basketball, or maybe somebody that played, in college or in pro, whatever level, what motivated you the most? When you're growing up in the Valley and you're that 5th, 6th grader, you put a ball in your hands when you were in 2nd grade, maybe,
Yeah. Who were you? Yeah.
And to become who you are, to become Bianca. How did Bianca get formed? How did she develop, in those younger years?
So when I started playing, it was because of my neighbor. His name is Paco, and he was in
Shout
high
out to
school.
Paco. Paco probably has no idea. Like,
No, he does. So I would play with him, and he was the one that like would take me to the Boys and Girls Club, and they had outside courts. So I would be the first one he picked up, and we'd play against guys. And so it was more like he gave me that burst of confidence, like letting me know, like, hey, like I'm picking you on my team. I got your back, and I'm letting you know, like you could play against these guys, So I think that was my first step. But my motivation really was my mom. So in everything I did, I wanted to make sure I played hard for her, and it just, I don't know, made me just work harder. My mom, like I said, was a single parent, and financially we didn't have much. I know for one Christmas, she gave me like a basketball pajama shirt, and I was like the happiest kid ever. Like it meant the world to me, and it was probably like a $2 shirt. But I just realized like very young that family was really important to me. And so I didn't want to be like a bad kid and getting in trouble. And I just wanted to make her proud. And basketball was something like for me to just, I don't know, just play. And so it started with Baco, I guess, right? The confidence. And my mom, really. I mean, I don't know what else to say except those two things, really. My brothers.
that's all you got to say. Yeah. I mean,
well, heading into high school, Bianca, you had wonderful, explosive high school career. What was it like, there at South?
It was awesome. I had, I don't know if I'm biased, but I had like the best coaches all around, from volleyball, basketball, track, softball. But I don't know if you know my basketball coach. Her name's Dawn Engelman. I believe she coached there at Wesco. Y'all are from Wesco, right?
No, I've got history in Wesco, but I'm not from Wesco. Yeah. But,
so Dawn,
I know who Coach Engelman is. Yeah.
Well, Dawn Engelman was crazy, like not in a bad way. I thought then that she was crazy, but she just like pushed us beyond our limit. Like a lot of people would ask, like, how hard was it playing for Coach Engelman? I thought about it, and it was like, it was tough, but like her workouts, the way she demanded like excellence, the way she made us believe that we weren't tired after we ran so many suicides or went up and down the court for so long. Like she just made us believe that we were well conditioned and ready for anything that would come our way. So we did really well. I mean, we won 4 district championships in high school, and it's just a testament to how she led us, as a coach, and what she made us believe. And we knew that we were, one of the best teams out there. And so we played like that every single game. But it was fun. And she was all about defense. So that's where I really started understanding that, defense really wins ball games. And whether you score so many points, I never really was about that. I know I had like good numbers, but it was more of just like the pride that I took in playing defense and stopping the person in front of me. And it led to becoming an all-time leading scorer, or not all-time leading scorer, all-time steals. I broke the record in steals at Pan Am. So it started, way back then.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So she prepared you in high
Mhm.
school to go in and have obviously a Hall of Fame career, and outrageous career there for the Bronx. So with that said, what would be your favorite player that you played against, or your favorite game? You can kind of talk about both of those for UTPA.
For UTPA, well,
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm gonna rewind a little. So growing up, I was in 8th grade. I remember going to Harlingen South and Edinburgh High girls basketball game. It was, I think, their first round of playoffs, and I saw Mara Guzman. I saw her play. She was a small little thing, and I thought, man, that girl's really good. And I knew she was a junior then, so like, man, I'll have a chance to play against her next year. And sure enough, my freshman year, we played against Edinburgh High, and I'm talking about high school game, but high school game, we were down 20 points at half against Edinburgh High at the Keeler Classic in Harlingen, and we came back and won with like a last second layup by 1 point. It was insane. I'll never forget, because like Mara she was a big deal, and to this day, you ask me who was like somebody that I watched or enjoyed playing against. Now going on to college, right? I got to play with her at Pan Am too. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and I played against so many girls, but to me, I thought Mara was the best point guard, and she was literally from Edinburgh.
Nice.
So it was fun, like watching her play when I didn't have the chance to play against her, and then it was fun being a teammate, because she pushed me like to the limit. Like I remember she would like get mad at me too in games. I remember I had like 4 fouls when we were playing, I think in Chicago State. And I had 4 fouls. It was halftime already. And Mara was like, man, you better not foul out. And she's like telling me off. I'm like, all right. I can't foul out. But then I ended up fouling out. But anyways.
What's up with those point guards from Edinburgh High talking to their players like, don't foul out if you got 4 fouls? Like,
just
that's
put it
amazing.
on me, man. But yeah, to me, honestly, Mara Guzman. And that's because I played against a lot of girls, but she was tough. Like really tough. I really enjoyed her game. Fast, quick, just a smart player. And I don't know, maybe more too now. I thought she was the better one, because I wanted to believe, that Valley people could play against top-notch athletes, So I'm going to say Mara Guzman and rank her as number 1.
Wow. That is a great answer, and another Valley product. That's
Make sure she gets this episode when it comes out. Like,
maybe you can interview her.
We would love to have her on. We would love to have her on. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. We would love to have her on.
That, Bianca, talk to us about your favorite game. Your
best favorite game.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite game, I would say, was my sophomore year at Texas State. We ended up beating them, and I had scored like the most points I have ever scored, which is 34 points. And I just was really hot that game. It was me and another teammate too. She had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 threes, and everything I was throwing up, was going in. So, but I think it was the best game, because going into Pan Am, I was like in a culture shock, because, I wasn't like, there wasn't like Mexicans on the team. There was like African Americans, just like different ethnicities, so it was a huge change for me. But why I say that, because I'm the only Mexican on the team. And so I had just scored 34 points. So after the game, we went to like this fried chicken restaurant, whatever. And so there was a family sitting down while we were in line ordering our food. And one of my teammates says, hey, if I ask this family who scored the most points, do you think that they would say you? And I was like, no, they'd probably think I'm the manager. Like, come on. But so I don't know, it just made me feel good knowing, like, especially after that comment, like, people don't assume Hispanics can play, like they just think they're the managers or they sit the bench. And so it made me feel good knowing that, like, I don't know, they knew that I was good, and
It gave you
I think
validation.
Scoring 34 points was a big deal. I mean, I look at it now like, oh, that was easy. Everything was going in, but it's a lot of points, So
It
I would say
is.
that was probably my toughest, or not toughest, but one of my better games.
It gave you
Wow.
validation to know that
Yeah.
you could play at this level. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you were a sophomore, so you knew you could compete, right? But
Mhm.
having a performance like that,
Yeah, it was a big
I would
deal.
assume that it would give you that validation, like, hey, it doesn't matter where I'm from or what I look like, or
Yeah.
it just I can ball,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. So a
yeah,
lot
That
of
was cool.
that you're you got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Talk to us about that.
congratulations.
Thank
How
you.
was it? Congratulate. That's one of the congratulations that we wanted to
Yeah.
give you. And so talk to us about that. Like what was that like,
It just happened a couple weeks ago, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the induction happened actually, yeah, last week. But I got the call back in like September, and I actually missed the call. So I looked at my phone, I saw had a missed call, and then I looked, now like the phones are all advanced, like it shows what the voicemail says. So it said something about Hall of Fame, and I was like, no way, this can't be true. So I called back the guy, his name was Jack. And then he announced to me, told me like, hey, like you've been inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I was like, no way. Like I literally had like tears rolling down my cheeks. And all I could think about were all those times that like I practiced, like when it was raining or when it was super hot. Like I just thought of all those moments, all those flashbacks like came at me, because that's what made me get there, like it wasn't the times that I was just chilling on the couch. Like it was all those moments, the times I maybe didn't want to work out and I still did. Like that's
Yeah.
what helped me get to this level because of that. Like you got to be committed, and I was super committed. I remember during spring breaks, like I wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, I wasn't much of a party person, but like I was training in a gym that had like no AC and putting up shots. And so like moments like that just flash back. And so it was worth it. And it was nice to be recognized for that. But it wasn't just me, it was my family, all their support and them taking me to my games and supporting me during times like they could have just been relaxing, but they were there for me and for my mom, like I said, not having much. And so I was able to recognize her and thank her in front of everybody because she's been my biggest motivation and
That's
inspiration in life. So
that is I'm so glad that you got in, because you are a testament of hard work. I remember seeing you play in high school, and you could basketball players can identify who's good and who isn't, right? G's been a coach. I've been around the game long enough. You've been around the game long enough. You can always kind of spot out like, okay, that person can play. And it was recognized early in your high school career that you were one of the standouts. And I'm so happy for you that you got inducted into the Hall of Fame, because that is a huge honor.
Yeah.
And for anybody, not just from somebody from the Valley, but it is a testament to the work you put into it. So congratulations, Bianca. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
neat.
Bianca, fun question. And you talk about growing up and playing against guys. All right. So anybody on the men's team that you could have beat one-on-one while you were there at UTPA? And if so, call them out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I could have beat any of them, but we
You don't
did
think
have like a 3-point contest, and I beat Aaron Urbanus, I think that's his name, Urbanus. But yeah, I beat him, but not on one-on-one. It was just 3-point contest.
We got to
No,
have
they were all good. I don't think I'd be able to beat them.
we got to get Aaron on the show so that
We're gonna get Aaron. We're gonna recall that. Do you remember, Aaron? We're gonna find the footage.
when Bianca beat you at the 3-point contest.
Or we're gonna have you pop in. We'll share the link when he's on the show, and then you just pop in and be like, "Hey, remember that time, Aaron, that beat you in that 3-point contest?"
He probably let me. He's probably shooting with his left hand. I don't know.
No, you got to give yourself more credit than that. I've seen you shoot, so yeah.
Bianca, we've had, and we're going to continue to have, a lot of Valley products, a lot of guys, girls that, played there at Pan American, and so of course, Lalo Rios really well.
Yeah.
You know what he meant to to the Valley, you know, like you mean to everybody, not just on the female side. I mean, look at us, like we're enamored by what you've accomplished, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't male, female, doesn't matter. You accomplish it, you know, you get your kudos. But between you and Lalo, game to 11, who wins it?
Me.
And don't sugarcoat anything, okay, Bianca? Who wins it?
You know what? To this day, I don't think I've ever seen Lalo play.
Like I said, who wins?
I'll say me. I'll be confident and say me.
What's it?
So get him back on and tell him that I'll beat him.
Oh no, I'm gonna make a clip. This is gonna be the clip that runs, right? Yeah, this is it. This is it.
What's the score? What's the score? The final score.
11-0. He doesn't score a point.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this, and this is a fun question, right? So you get the call, you miss the call for the Hall of Fame, you call him back, you get the announcement. Where do you go? Do you go out to eat after you get the announcement? And where did you go? Or did your mom cook something? Like, how did you celebrate the culmination of all that hard work that you got the announcement? Where did you go to celebrate? Did you go to Peter Piper? Like, what did Bianca and her family do to celebrate the announcement?
I just remember calling my mom, telling her, and then I called my husband and told him, like, hey, I have something to tell you when I get home, just to keep it suspenseful.
Oh, you left him sweating the whole day. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but no, we didn't really like celebrate. I mean, after the banquet, yeah, we went to go eat, but I don't know, I think just the celebration was just knowing that my name's now in the record or in the record books, and also too in the Hall of Fame, in the hall. So it just leaves like a huge legacy, you know. I guess I was still like shocked at like what really was going on, and I was just trying to be in the moment because it really is a huge deal. Like, I remember I used to hear people say all the time, like, man, you're a Hall of Famer, or hearing other people talk about, hey, Hall of Fame, but you don't realize, like, man, like, or I didn't realize, man, that just really happened to me. Like, I just couldn't believe it. But no, we didn't really, I don't think we didn't celebrate.
Well, let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, Dalai Lama
just a
waffles and ice cream on Lalo.
Ooh, all week. One
All
week for free.
because you just beat his ass 11-0.
Yeah, all week.
Love it. So, what are you up to? What are you up to now, Bianca?
So I coach at a middle school. I used to coach at Edinburgh High, but since I had my little girl, she's like 2 now, my priorities kind of changed, and I wanted more time with her. But yeah, I'm at South Middle School here in Edinburgh.
Do they realize who their coach is? Like, do they have any inclination?
So like one day they were gathered together. They were at practice, and they're like, "Hey, coach, do you know that you're on Google?" I was like, I am? They're like, yeah, you're like a celebrity. I'm like, what? I was playing it off. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, seriously, I'm not on there. Who is that? And they're like, no, look. And then they pulled up my picture. Like, hey, no, this is you. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're gonna be more of a YouTube sensation after this podcast, after the 5 people that subscribe to our podcast watches.
Yeah.
Bianca,
you're
just
Bianca, I believe, Bianca, you subscribe, right? You're a subscriber?
Yeah, sure. I will.
Make it 6, Bianca. Make it 6.
Make it 6, Bianca. Come on, do it.
There'll be more than 6. Don't worry.
Awesome, Bianca. Who better than to lead those middle school kids? You know, I coached back in the day. I coached middle school as well, and I had an AAU team with 5th, 6th, 7th graders, and man, such a joy to see them develop. And those are the developmental years. Like that's where they either fall in love with the game, or they totally say, you know what, it ain't for me. So you at that pivotal moment in their lives where you get to like inspire them to like continue to reach their dreams and use basketball as a platform for that. Not, you know, a lot of those players might not go on and play basketball, but man, you're in such a great position. You're in such to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. And I mean, we had great athletes, like good attitudes and all that. So it's even better, you know, it's so much more easier to coach like that. So
got a question.
So
favorite place to eat when you're in college?
Favorite place to eat. I saw Gabe's response, and his is like Starlight, right? So my favorite place to eat on camp, it was on campus. It was there at the cafeteria because I got my food for free.
Kudos. Man, that is the most honest.
That is the most genuine answer ever. Free food. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What about in
so,
Harlingen? What's your favorite spot to eat besides Mom's house in Harlingen?
Besides Mom's, it would be Pepe's Mexican restaurant. Have you been there? It's right behind the Bogus Stadium.
Absolutely. Been there. Yep. Chips and salsa are really good
Chips
there.
and salsa.
Pepe's, I believe I have been there. My go-to spot in Harlingen is Las Vegas Cafe.
Okay, yeah, that's another good one. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Pepe's.
Pepe's. Yeah, Pepe's.
Enchiladas. You gotta try
I've
the
been to
enchiladas.
Pepe's.
And the chips and salsa. Those are a must.
Next time Matt comes down, Bianca, we'll take him over to Pepe's.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Matt, we
Yeah.
got to play with Bianca. You got to play the game.
Play the
Okay.
game.
All right.
Yep.
One word answers. Okay.
All right.
So we'll ask you the question, first person or first thing that comes to mind, you spit it out. Okay.
All right.
Favorite.
Matt. Just kidding.
That is actually really good.
I thought you say favorite athlete.
Oh yeah. Favorite athlete.
Matt.
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 Hello.
No,
Sorry,
that was
go.
great. That was an awesome answer, Bianca. That I love your humor. But favorite teammate of yours playing?
Man, there's a lot. High school, college, anything?
College. Keeping it strictly college.
Okay, yeah.
Other-
forget it. We're Bronx.
other
We're
than
Bronx.
Other than Mara.
Favorite teammate, I would say Rose Esther Jean. She was a senior when I was a freshman. And she was like the first girl I ever saw actually touch rim. She was very positive. I was a freshman starting point guard and she was a senior and she didn't care that I was a freshman. She's like, come on, you gotta lead this team. Like she just made me believe like, hey, like this is my team and she's right there with me. So yeah, I want to say Rose Esther Jean.
Nice.
She's from
Nice.
Houston and she was a baller, man. Really good.
Favorite-
I think she leads in blocks, so she's pretty good. You can
Favorite
get her on ball.
coach. Favorite coach or assistant?
I'll say our head coach, Coach Downey, Denny Downey.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the way he coached, and he was like a offensive guru. And like I said, in high school, it was all about like defense. I mean, our coach taught us offense too, but we were really defense oriented. So I got to get a good balance, and I learned so much offensively. So that's what really helped me too in my offensive game. But yeah, Coach Denny Downey, UTEPA.
Bianca just said I was her favorite athlete at Pan Am. So
You didn't finish
you're
the
in
question, so
Huh?
you could have been the favorite athlete, but you didn't
Yeah.
finish the question.
So Bianca, we'll end with this one. Okay. And you've probably never seen me play. And I was probably the Valley product that played a couple of years there that you never got to see. You never even hear
He
of.
did play. He played.
I played a little bit. Yeah, I got like big time stats there, right, Matt? Anyway.
I have some of your newspaper clippings. I know who you are.
There you go. Bianca, I
Awesome.
got a story about G before you ask you that question. So
Yeah.
G's
Go
on the road with us. He travels with us. I think we're at like Western Kentucky. G's sitting on the end of the bench, and there was he happened to be sitting next to like Lalo at the time because Lalo was subbed out. And
He got on the bench.
somebody
Lalo was actually on the bench for a little bit.
yeah,
think this
Lalo was on the
story's a
bench
lie.
for a hot second. Like it was literally, it was like maybe a minute or whatever it was. It wasn't very long. G was on there longer, but that's not the point. Somebody yelled out from the student section and was like, hey, I didn't know you signed the Menendez brothers, right? Because they were sitting right next to each other. And it was
Well, I'm
so
not supposed
funny.
to laugh at these jokes.
Bianca, remember we encouraged you to laugh at any roast towards myself.
I forgot.
She laughed though. She laughed. So go ahead and ask your question, G, and then we'll wrap it up.
So this is a very serious question. I don't know if you've seen Matt play or myself, but last second, you got a 3 to win it, down 2 seconds left. Who do you give the ball to, me or Matt?
I'll say you because I laughed earlier.
And
So,
That is the right.
Not Matt.
I would give it to G also.
Not Matt.
I would
Not
give
Matt.
it to G. I would give it to G and he'd miss it. And then I would just laugh at him. So
Or he'd get something that's totally out of his element, a rebound. Maybe. I don't know.
whatever.
Maybe.
And
Anyway,
maybe, you know,
Yeah,
get
I
an
got you. I'll give it to you.
I would give it to G also. Bianca, thank you so much for joining the show, and kudos to all your success and what you're doing now at South and and tutoring or working with those young girls. But more so, congratulations on being inducted to the Hall of Fame. You cemented your legacy, and we can't give you enough flowers. And you deserve everything and all the accolades that you've earned and that are coming your way. So thank you so much.
Thank
Bianca,
you.
Bianca,
you.
last thing. 8-year-old girl, what are you telling her right now?
Telling her to work hard, to be dedicated to the sport, and that if you believe that you can, you will. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how tall you are, how short you are. As long as you have that faith and that confidence and that belief that you can and that you're the best player when you step on that court, then you can do it.
That's who
will
you
not-
are.
You will not
That's
fail.
who you are.
That's who
Ladies
you
and
are.
gentlemen, Miss Bianca Torre, thank you so much for joining the show. She loves free food at the cafeteria. You can find her at South Middle School. Thank you so much, and we would love to have you back on the show anytime you want to come back.
Thank you for having me, and you guys are doing a great job with this podcast. It's really
How do
nice
you
to-
know? You don't even subscribe.
Well, I'm gonna subscribe right now. Chill.
Say, hey, Bianca's gonna get like 100 subscribers. Just wait,
She's
man.
going to get us 100 subscribers. Thank
Yeah.
you
Right.
so much, Bianca. All
Thank you,
your
guys.
middle school students are going to follow us now because
And if they,
because
they don't-
Coach is famous. She's on
Yeah.
Google.
but
So,
if they don't, make them run sprints.
All right, I got you. I'll let them know tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll practice. Thank
Appreciate
you
you.
guys. Have a good one.
see you
Bye-bye.
soon. Take care, Bianca. Thank you.